Grab your bevs, it's time for a book club video. I wanted to share some books that I recommend to beginner readers if you're just getting into reading and you're looking for some book recommendation and to understand the hype of reading. My book club, it's been a while since we've had a chance to chat. I am finally bringing the book club videos back. I stopped for a while because I wasn't sure like what to make videos on, and I just wasn't feeling like the most creative girl. But I wanted to bring the book club videos back because I've made a few, done some reading vlogs, bookstore vlogs, books I've read throughout the year, but I've never really done like themed book club videos like this. So if you like this kind of video, definitely let me know. I will continue it if you guys respond well. This video is kind of an experiment because I feel like a large majority of my subscribers are not here for book content. Like, they didn't subscribe to me for book content, but the ones who are here and do enjoy book content, we are mighty, okay? Definitely let me know. I'm in the cutest, like, bookish outfit today. I have this heart linen top on. I thrifted it. And these striped little pink pants, I also thrifted. Whole outfit is thrifted. I went to a farmer's market today, and now I'm filming a book club video. What a great day. What a great outfit. What a great beverage. I guess that's my dog, my drink, my outfit, and my book of the day. What's my book of the day? Well, I'm actually gonna be starting that right there, Harry Potter. I've never read the books, and the movies I've kind of half seen, half didn't pay attention to, so I'm gonna be embarking on that journey starting this fall. So standing in front of my bookshelf, I've never filmed here, but I feel like this is a perfect like bookish background. All of my current physical book copies are my fantasy books, and then I also read on my Kindle a lot, so I'm not gonna really be holding up any books. I'm gonna just pop them on the screen here. That's why I left this like white wall for the books. If you're new here, hi, my name is Jill. I'm 24. I currently live in South Florida. I love to read. I make lifestyle vlogs, and I talk about personal finance, work, workouts, books, thrifting, hobbies, all the things I really enjoy in my life, and I just kind of take you through my life. My channel is kind of just a dumping ground for like random things that I enjoy, random things you all seem to enjoy too, which is so very fun. So I wanted to make a whole video dedicated to books I would recommend for beginners who are interested in reading and just trying to figure out where to dip their toe in, what they should start with. I mainly read fantasy, hence this, as well as romance. I do like fiction, so that's kind of just like a mixture of mystery, historical fiction, and just like general fiction. I don't really read self-help books often, but here and there I'll like pick one up and read it throughout like a few months. Mainly fantasy and like romance and fiction are my mains. That's mainly what we're gonna get into today. A lot of these books I will say you may have heard of before, and that's for good reason. I'm sharing a lot of popular known books in this video because it's just good. Like, there's a reason it's so popular, there's a reason why people recommend them so much, and I want to share them with you all. Just know that, like, if you aren't new to reading, you may have already read these books, or you might not like these books, but I think a lot of these books are a great introduction to beginner readers who are trying to like dip their toes in and figure out what they like. And these are some of my favorite books that I'm recommending. I'm really excited to share some of my favorite books that I would recommend to you. All these books I'm sharing are the books that I recommend to like friends and family who are trying to get into reading and who ask me for recommendations. So I did a few different categories, and I did about like 3 books and or series per category. So some of these books are standalone, some are series. It really just depends. I feel like the fantasy books are all series, but like the rest of the books are kind of just standalones. Shall we get right into it? I'm gonna put my Diet Coke down. I have my phone and I need to hold it for my list. I did make a list. I came prepared. So we're gonna start with fantasy because I feel like I accidentally delete my list. Oh no, I found it. I found it. Sharing my favorites like from the jump. We're gonna start with fantasy. These are my favorites. They're the most well-known, and that's for good reason. A Court of Thorns and Roses. Guys, like I always say to people, read the description. Don't even try to figure it out. Just start reading it and like follow along for the journey. I can guarantee you like 95% of you, if you like, will enjoy it. If you're like me, if you like my channel and you like what I'm interested in, like odds are you're gonna love this whole book. So I'm gonna kind of share as well the description from the author, and then also why I personally think it's a good idea if you're like new to like reading certain types of books or just need some recommendations if you're newer to reading. Okay, A Court of Thorns and Roses is by Sarah J. Maas. You may have heard of her. She has her Massiverse, so it's multiple different series, but most people start with A Court of Thorns and Roses as like the gateway to not only her like book series, but also fantasy, and we'll get into why after, but let me read what it's about to you. When 19-year-old huntress Freida kills a wolf in the woods, a beast-like creature arrives to demand retribution. Dragged to a treacherous magical land she only knows about from legend, feelings for the fairy Tamlin transform from icy hostility into a fiery passion. An ancient, wicked shadow over the fairylands is growing, and Freida must find a way to stop it. This book, like the description says, it's about a 19-year-old. Her name is Freida Archeron, and she is like a huntress. She gets food for her family. This is like the first chapter, so not spoiling anything here. She ends up killing this wolf who happens to be Fae. She's heard all about these fairies. Don't even try to understand what a fairy is. Just read and you'll like start to picture it. Just picture like a human with magic and powers. And it's really cool. She ends up having to go to the like Fae lands. She's heard all about this growing up, and everybody knows about the Fae and the humans and all like the issues they've had. And she discovers a lot of truths and secrets that she didn't know about with just being on the human side. I think this is great if you're trying to intro into fantasy, because I think the world building is not complicated to understand. I think if like fantasy seems kind of daunting to you, I think this is a great start. It's a very simple world to understand, very much like sectioned out in your brain when you're reading it. Like you can kind of picture everything as you read. It also helps that there's a map at the beginning of the book. And also it is more of like a romantasy driven book. So I think that also helps when people are getting into fantasy, is that like romance driven first, possibly because it's relatable to us. Like we can like relate to the romance. Then after that, they end up loving the world building parts of it. So it is technically a 5-book series. However, there is talk from the author and the fandom that more books are coming out. So currently, I don't even remember when the last book for this came out. It's been a long time since she has published a new book in the series. So I will note that. Definitely recommend this book. And it's popular for a reason. You've heard about it forever because there's a reason it's popular. Okay, my next book recommendation is the Empyrean series. This is an incomplete series. It's by Rebecca Yarros. You've probably heard of Fourth Wing. This is, again, one of the best books I could recommend for intro to fantasy. There's a lot better people who can like explain these things better than me. However, as a girly who loves to read, these are the books I'm recommending. I'm gonna read the description of Fourth Wing because it's the first book and that's how you kind of like get into everything. Like I said, this is an incomplete series, so there's only 3 books out so far. There is talk of more coming out. We are impatiently waiting. And I also should know, all of these books will probably put you into a reading slump because they're so good. 20-year-old Violet Sorrengail was supposed to enter the Scribe Quadrant, living a quiet life among books and history. Now, the commanding general has ordered Violet to join the hundreds of candidates striving to become the elite of Navarre, dragon riders. But when you're smaller than everyone else and your body is brittle, death is only a heartbeat away, because dragons don't bond to fragile humans. Most would kill Violet to better their own chances of success. The rest would kill her just for being her mother's daughter, like Xaden Ryerson, the most powerful and ruthless wing leader in the Riders Quadrant. Violet begins to suspect leadership is hiding a terrible secret. Enemies to lovers, okay? Enemies to lovers. One thing I love about fantasy, it's political. It's always like the stretch of like good versus evil, or like the good trying to defeat the evil, the good doing questionable things to get rid of the bad. I love this book specifically because, again, I think it's so easy to understand the world once you read it. It's giving like Hunger Games Divergent vibes from the jump, and if you liked those books growing up in my generation, that dystopian type book, you will love this book. Enemies to lovers, so there's that romantasy driven book to start off. Easy world building to understand. Definitely like leaves you on the edge of your seat. Sassy dragons. Sassy dragons. Who doesn't love a sassy dragon? You'll understand when you read it, I promise. Probably looking at me thinking like, what are you talking about, girl? Just trust me. Okay, that's all I have to say. Just trust me. Love these books. Patiently waiting for the next ones to come out. Let's move on into the next recommendation. I recently read this one. So this is my newest. This is the last fantasy series I've actually read. And when I read it, I was like, oh, this would be so great for new readers. My next recommendation is the Powerless series. It is a completed series and there's only 3 books, so it's not much. A nice dip of the toe into the fantasy world. Still easy to understand. There's no like fae or anything like that, kind of like Fourth Wing. Like there's no fae. There's not even like sassy dragons in Powerless, but it's easy to understand and it still has you like on the edge of your seat. Powerless is by Lauren Roberts as well. I don't think I said that, so I'm gonna mention that. Only the extraordinary belong in the kingdom of the elites. The powers these elites have possessed for decades were graciously gifted to them by the plague. Those born ordinary are just that, ordinary. And when the king decreed that all ordinaries be banished to preserve his elite society, lacking in ability suddenly became a crime, making Peyton Gray a felon by fate and a thief by necessity. Peyton poses as a psychic in the crowded city, blending in with the elites as best she can to stay alive and out of trouble. Finds herself thrown into the purging trial. The brutal competition exists to showcase the elite's power, the very thing Peyton lacks. I love this book because, like I said, it's really simple to understand the world itself. I think it's really relatable in the sense of like the powerful elite versus the ordinary. Again, I think like a lot of fantasy books typically mirror societies that we live in, and also it's just fun. Like it's so fun to read about like the ordinary girl going head to head with the elites. A lot of these books in certain ways are like somewhat predictable because it's like, okay, what do you think's gonna happen? It's the hero story that we all love, you know? In these books specifically, like with what Peyton talks about and discusses and how she was brought up, I think a lot of people can either like relate to it, understand it, empathize with it, and you're just like rooting for the main character to come out on top. It's so fun. There's secrets, royalty involved, so princes, kings, queens, like there's some plot twists too. I'll say there's some plot twists in this book. So I think this book is great for beginners. Like sip of the Diet Coke. I'm feeling parched. So those are the books I would recommend for anyone new to fantasy. This is my favorite genre. There is nothing like a good fantasy book. You will be consumed. There is no better high. Honestly, the ACOTAR high, nothing will compare. You will feel like it's changed you forever. Just trust me. If you read any of these books, you come back and you tell me what you think. Next, we are moving into like the romance book category. I feel like for romance books, I typically recommend authors versus specific books because with most of these authors, if you like one of their books, you're most likely gonna like multiple of their books. Some you might not love as much as the others, but like typically if you like one of her books or his books, you're gonna like more. I think all these are female authors though, everybody I'm mentioning. So the 3 authors that I best can describe as like, this is your summer vibe, like summer reads, nothing will compare to it. It might be because they typically come out with books in the summertime or they're based in the summertime or something like that. 3 authors. They're my favorite to read in the summertime. May have heard of them before because they're popular for a reason. Emily Henry, Abbey Jimenez, and Carley Fortune. Similar vibe in like that summery, fun, romantic, summer romance type energy. However, different for different reasons. So I'm gonna recommend one from each author, and I'm gonna start with Emily Henry. This is one of my favorite books I've ever read, and it's called Funny Story. Something about it just made me like it was like funny, it was like goofy, it was lighthearted, but it was also like emotional, and it like touched you. I was so proud of the main character like by the end of this book. Daphne always loved the way her fiance Peter told their story, how they met, fell in love, and moved back to his lakeside hometown to begin their life together. He really was good at telling it. Right up until the moment he realized he was actually in love with his childhood best friend, only person who could possibly understand her predicament, Petra's ex, Miles Noack. The roommates mainly avoid one another until one day, while drowning their sorrows, they form a tenuous friendship and a plan. It's just so like rom-com coded, you know what I mean? It's just like, this could be a movie. I love this book because, like I said, it's fun, it's lighthearted, it's romantic, it's just so, like, random. Like, the odds of this happening in real life, I feel like things happen more than you realize in life, but it's just, like, of course, like, out of all the circumstances to, like, happen, this is what happened. So, the book I was gonna recommend by Abbey Jimenez was actually going to be different from the one I'm recommending because I recently just read Part of Your World by Abbey Jimenez. Look up some trigger warnings because her books typically do touch on different difficult subjects that for some might be hard to read about. So I'm just going to note that with all her books. A lot of her books, I think all of her books actually do touch on all that in different ways. I will note there is talk about abuse in this book, but like I said, look up some trigger warnings. But this book I thought was so good. I'm specifically recommending this book because I put it off for so long. After a wild bet, gourmet grilled cheese sandwich, and cuddle with a baby goat, Alexis Montgomery has her world turned upside down. The cause? Daniel Grant, a ridiculously hot carpenter who's 10 years younger than her and as casual as they come. Letting their relationship become anything more than a short-term fling would mean turning her back on her family and giving up the opportunity to help thousands of people. Very much small town romance vibes. Very cute. I loved this book. I did really enjoy this book. I just read it actually. It was my last read. I finished it yesterday. It's very recent on the brain, and I think just the first chapter, it's like, oh, okay, like here we go. Just with how they met right off the bat, I'm like, I'm hooked. Next book author I'm gonna recommend is Carley Fortune. I really do like her books. Most of her books are based in Canada, like East Coast. I think it's East Coast of Canada, like from Toronto to the lake vibe. The book I'm recommending is called One Golden Summer. However, you do need to read, technically it's the prequel, Every Summer After, but just read the first book before you read the second one. Good things happen at the lake. That's what Alice's grandmother says, and it's true. Alice spent just one summer there at a cottage with Nan when she was 17. It's where she took that photo and the one of 3 grinning teenagers in a yellow speedboat. Now Alice lives behind a lens. As a photographer, she's most comfortable on the sidelines letting other people shine. Alice comes up with a plan for them both. Another summer in that magical place, Barry's Bay. But as soon as they settle in, their peace is disrupted by the roar of a familiar yellow boat and the man driving it. I loved this. It was ultimate summer vibes on the lake. Such a good beach read. I feel like all these authors, you can pick any of their books and it's perfect to lay on the beach, lay by the pool, lay on the couch, and just relax. I love this book. I thought it was so cute and like flirty and also like relatable with like some of the things the main character struggles with. I feel like can be related to. So I really enjoyed these books. So those are the books I'm gonna recommend for my like romance novels. Honestly, any of these books by these authors I would recommend. They're all really good. The last one I did recommend, like I said, you should read the first one first, but the second one is my favorite of the two. But again, all great reads, and I recommend every single one of them. Now we're gonna move into more like fiction books. I have a range. One like general fiction, one historical fiction, mystery. The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. I love this book. This book had some people really enjoyed it, some didn't. I really liked it, and I'm gonna tell you why. Somewhere out beyond the edge of the universe, there's a library that contains an infinite number of books, each one the story of another reality. One tells the story of your life as it is, along with another book for the other life you could have lived if you had made a different choice at any point in your life. Nora Seed finds herself faced with this decision, faced with the possibility of changing her life for a new one. I really like this book because I think this is something we all feel and deal with and think about, like, if I had done this one thing differently, would I have been happier? Would I have been able to change the outcome of that situation? Would I have not hurt other people in the process of this? Would I have had this crazy experience instead of this? Like, I think it's something we all deal with, and it was really fun to do it in someone else's situation to see like what could have happened if she chose differently. Like, feels like this one little thing that you would tweak, but then it affects every single thing after that. And I love a ripple effect, if that's what it's called. I think that's what it's called. Had to share. I thought it was a great read. Again, some people loved it, some didn't. I noticed with the reviews, I really enjoyed it, and I think it does have a good lesson in there that I think we all need that reminder of. The next book, oh my gosh, I just remembering how I felt reading this book. Really heavy, really heavy. Definitely look up some trigger warnings for this as well. Historical fiction. Every book I've read by this author, I've enjoyed. It's called The Nightingale by Kristin Hannah. Any book you pick up, you'll enjoy, but this one is my favorite. It's so popular, and like for good reason. It's the first book that introduced me to her, and after that I started reading her other books and thoroughly enjoyed them. And this is historical fiction, so this is like based in World War II France time. France, 1939. Vivienne Morac says goodbye to her husband Antoine as he heads for the front. She doesn't believe that the Nazis will invade France, but invade they do. German captain requisitions Vivian's home. She and her daughter must live with the enemy or lose everything. Vivian's sister Isabel is a rebellious 18-year-old girl searching for purpose with all the reckless passion of youth. Isabel joins the resistance and never looks back, risking her life time and again to save others. It's so good. Like, these two women are in completely like different circumstances. Their lives are different, but they're sisters, they love each other, and they're both just trying to survive this war one way or another. And the ending, I was in tears. I was in tears. I think this book is wonderful if you like some like real inspired history in the story you're reading. I think it's so good. Like, my heart was like, oh, it's so emotional. It's beautiful, and it's just like, it's so heart-wrenching, but at the same time, it's, I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine what these girls had to go through. We're into like mystery, and I haven't been reading it recently because it's been kind of like messing with my head whenever I do read it, because I'm anxious. I don't listen to like true crime podcasts, and I don't like to read thrillers because it just kind of like freaks me out, if I'm being honest. However, one that I did read that really booked with my head, Never Lie by Freida McFadden. Like, the plot twist in this book, guys, I read it like 3 years ago and I still recommend it to people. Newlyweds Trisha and Ethan are searching for the house of their dreams, but when they visit the remote manor that once belonged to Dr. Adrian Hale, a renowned psychiatrist who vanished without a trace 4 years earlier, Trisha happens upon a secret room, one that contains audio transcripts from every single patient Dr. Hale has ever interviewed. As Trisha listens to the cassette tape, she learns about the terrifying chain of events leading up to Dr. Hale's mysterious disappearance. I'm getting chills. I'm getting chills. My stomach's in my ass right now. Shocked by the ending of that book. If you want to be on the edge of your seat, if you want to be shocked, surprised, if you think you want to know the outcome, and you're going to be shocked and you're going to be tricked, those are some of the books that I recommend if you're just getting into reading, if you're just beginning to read and want some recommendations. I tried to recommend books from like different genres. Again, I know this was only like 9 books, but all of these were like 5-star reads for me that I read, close to it, so that's why I am recommending them to you. I want you to start off on a, oh, it's thundering out. It's like sunny as can be in Florida right now, but it's been raining at some point in the afternoon every day. So with that, I think we're gonna end this video here. If you do decide to read any of these books, definitely let me know in the comments. Let me know if you're gonna read them, if you have read them, what are your thoughts? No spoilers allowed. I want everybody to just embark on the journey, okay? And of course, if you have any books that you would recommend either to new readers or to me as a non-new reader who has read a lot, but leave books in the comments. If there's maybe some genres that I didn't mention that you would like to recommend, definitely leave them in the comments. I would love to start some kind of like book club, like maybe monthly book situation. I would like to film book club books more often and share them with you guys. I don't know if maybe we'll do like a monthly reading vlog from the book club book where we can like sit down and talk all about it. We can do like, I'll do like a non-spoiler part of the video and then like a spoil part of the video maybe for all the people who have read it. Let me know your thoughts. I might post on my community what you think, if you'd be interested in that, and then maybe we can go from there. If you have any ideas or recommendations for the book club, also comment them that. I look forward to chatting with you all in the comments, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're new here, definitely subscribe. You have a great rest of your day whenever you're watching this, and I will see you all in the next vlog. Bye.